Namaste. Welcome to new session, and we have commenced the Nidra Vritti. As I said during the last session, that Nidra Vritti and Sushupti should not be confused. Sushupti is a part of Nidra Vritti, and it's not the whole of Nidra Vritti. So, Nidra Vritti has a greater radius and it includes the Sushupti, or what we call as sleep, dreamless sleep. In case of dreamless sleep, we can easily conceive that there can be nothing klishta or aklishta, vritti as such. You can have a good sleep, sound sleep, or disturbed sleep, etc., etc. But then, when it is just sushupti, you cannot be getting klishtata or aklishtata as defined in Yoga Shastra and Yoga Darshana, particularly Vyasa. Because klishta means that which increases the bondage, karma vasana, klesha vasana, and bandha. Well, that is klishta vritti. And the one which works in opposite direction, that it enfeebles, lessens, rarefies the bondage potential, bondage shackles. And that which attenuates klesha vasana, karma vasana, the vasana aspect, which is having the shackles for all bondage, and the one which takes you towards apavarga or liberation by way of viveka. So, we can't see the locus for such things in sleep as such. The sleep will not create something by which you will get viveka, nitya viveka, atma anatma viveka, shuchi ashuchi viveka, etc., dharma adharma viveka. No kind of viveka will really come up in dreamless sleep. Or we don't see even the bondage potential increasing, karma vasana, klesha vasana increasing in dreamless sleep. So therefore, considering that this is only sleep, then it really doesn't get characterized by klishtata and aklishtata. However, it is quite expressed that Patanjali mentions there is klishtata and aklishtata in Nidra Vritti. So the point is, it is not just sleep as it is usually construed. Because sleep is also called Nidra. And that is why the problem comes up. Sleep, Sushupti is also called Nidra. They are synonyms. And now here is also, this is a technical word, technical term, which I have been repeatedly saying. So now we are going to discuss with Nidra Vritti, and of course it will include Sushupti. As to what is Sushupti, it will also include what is really sleep. But there is no point in just confining the discussion on the Nidra Vritti by just discussing the sleep or dreamless sleep. And the very sutra is throbbing with this kind of purport. Because what is the sutra saying? Abhava pratyaya lambana vritti nidra. That which takes support of cause of absence is nidra. That which takes support of cause of absence is nidra. Now, this is quite a roundabout kind of definition, as I said, if it is to be just defining sleep or sushupti. However, the sushupti is also of same kind. What is really sushupti? How sushupti is included? How does it fit in this definition? Because what is really sleep? See, here it is the major characteristic of the definition is that taking support of cause of absence. Now, what is sushupti? Sushupti is taking support of cause of absence of jagruti. Sleep is taking support of cause of absence of awakefulness. Because there has to be absence of awakefulness to be getting sleep. You can't say that I have got awakefulness as well as sleep both together. The sleep is of the nature of taking support of the cause of awakefulness. Unless the support of cause of absence of awakefulness is taken, you cannot be getting sleep. So see how this definition is also circumscribing the sleep. Now, what is the cause of absence of awakefulness? In neurology, it is said that the mind has to enter a nerve called pericardium in the heart. When the mind enters a nerve called pericardium in the heart, that is, it is taking support of cause of absence of awakefulness, and that is why we get sleep. So when we get sleep, that means we have taken support of cause of absence of awakefulness. Not having taken support of cause of awakefulness, the cause of awakefulness, we will not be getting sleep. So we have to take the cause of absence of awakefulness. So in case of an infant baby, mother pats the child, and by patting the child takes support of cause of absence of awakeful state, and therefore the baby goes to sleep while mother is patting, or mother is singing a lullaby and patting the baby. So see how this definition is also fitting the state of sleep. So it is neurology which describes that sleep phenomenon is mind entering a nerve called pericardium in heart. Otherwise, the mind, when it is out of the pericardium nerve, then it is sensing, feeling, thinking, the kind of activities of awakeful state will be going on. And therefore, the definition also fits the state of sleep. And therefore, it is included. Now, this vritti, nidra vritti by way of sleep, is something with which we are all familiar. We have experienced it. We experience it every day. That is why the discussion is more inclined towards describing sleep, because it is of everyone's experience. And it's quite a stark kind of state of mind where the nidra definition is fitting in, taking support of the cause of absence. Now, to be sleeping, we want to have absence of awakeful state. We can't say that I want to go to sleep and I'll also have awakeful state. I want to have absence of awakeful state. Unless I have absence of awakeful state, I will not be able to sleep. Now, to have absence of awakeful state, I have to take support of cause of absence of awakeful state. See the way plain logic behind it, profound logic behind it, stark logic behind it. If I want to go to sleep, I must take support. I must take support of absence of a wakeful state. I must have a wakeful state. I must have absence of a wakeful state. Now, to have absence of a wakeful state, I must take support of cause of absence of a wakeful state. Now, this is the cause of absence of a wakeful state, where the mind has to enter a particular nadi. When the mind enters particular nadi, then that is taking support of causing absence of a wakeful state, and when the awakeful state is absent, you are in sleep. But then I've been telling you that there are so many other states of consciousness which are included. If you do not include those states of consciousness, then the panchavrutti will not be circumscribing so many mental modulations that we have. So let's try to understand how other states are also included here. More fundamentally, dream. The dream that we get during our sleep. The dream will only come when you have slept, and it is something that ensues from sleep. Not having slept at all, you can't have dream. So you must sleep. So therefore, many people say they don't get the sleep at all. They don't get the sleep at all. But if you question them, do you get any dream? They say, yes, I had a dream. Now, if you have a dream, that means you had slept. But is it only that the sleep was not really very thick, and therefore you got a dream? So it was perhaps not a satisfactory sleep. But you can't say that you did not sleep, but yet you got a dream. So it's little rarefied kind of sleep where we get a kind of dream. And more often the dream is quite disturbing, and therefore our sleep is said to be disturbed sleep. The point is swapnavastha, and is also included. That means swapna vritti. In swapnavastha we have a swapna vritti. We have a mental vritti in swapna, in dream. So dream state of consciousness has a dreamy modulation of mind, or dreamy modulation of chitta. So the dream experience, what is called as dream experience, is a vritti. Dream experience is a mental vritti. Dream experience is a chitta vritti. You can't say there was a dream but no experience. The dream is always an experience. If it is an experience, it's a mental modulation, it's a mental functioning, it's a mental act, it's a mental modulation. So even in dream, we have this chitta vritti. The point is that we have a chitta vritti, or mental modulation is there. It's a mental function. It's a mental kind of activity that we have in dream. Therefore, the dream is also included. Now, in dream also, see how the definition is fitting here. Now, what do we see in dream? We experience, the dream experience is always pertaining to something that is absent. Now, what is actually present for you to be getting dream? The sleep must be present. The sleep must be present. Not having sleep at all present to any degree, you can't be having a dream at night. So what is present is sleep. Now, therefore, you will see that in dream, although we say that, you can get any kind of dream, anything is possible in dream, that is not really true. With the help of this sutra, we can have certain deductions here, that the dream being nidra vritti must be of the nature of taking support of cause of absence. So what is present in sleep is sleep. Now in dream we have some experience, and the experience is as ditto identical to experience in a wakeful state. Whatever is our experience in a wakeful state, seeing some object, seeing some activity, seeing some phenomenon, uh, all that is as if it is a wakeful state. The experience is almost identical to that of experience of a wakeful state. Only the thing is that the dream is seen inside. The dream is not seen by our charma chakshu, that is these physical eyes. These physical eyes don't see the dream. If you see elephant in dream, it is not that it's a visual object, because elephant in dream is not a visual object. So it is a light effect, and then we see elephant in light effect inside our mind. And therefore, in dream we don't see actual elephant, physical elephant. But what we see is almost identical or ditto of physical elephant outside. So there is no difference between dream perception of elephant and a wakeful state of experience of elephant. They are absolutely identical. There is no difference. But there is absence of that elephant. There is no elephant because you cannot be having elephant inside you, because the dreams are always seen inside, because you are in sleeping condition, you are in sleep state of consciousness, and then in between you get a dream. So you are sleeping and then you get the dream. So you feel basically that you are almost awakeful and you are getting experience of awakeful state. But then there is absence of those objects physically within you. Whatever you see in the dream cannot be physically having presence in your mind inside you. So these are dreamy objects, what is called as dreamy objects or mental objects that we see in dream. So therefore again the support of absence is taken. Elephant is absent, you see in dream. What is not present, we see in dream. And therefore, you will never have a dream that you are sleeping a soundless sleep, because you always have dream as if you are in a wakeful state. You never get a dream that you are in a sleeping state. You always get dream as if you are in awakeful state, and it's business of activity of awakeful state, and that's how you get dreams. You will never have a dream that you are sleeping in your bedroom on your bed and having a dreamless sleep. You can't be having dream of dreamless sleep. Which the dreamless sleep is something that can be present, and that is present in sleep. Actually, you are in sleep, and in sleep you get the dream. So sleep is actually present. Elephant is not present, the gardens are not present, the roads are not present, the buildings are not present, the people are not present. They are all absent. So the cause of their absence is your sleep. So cause of absence of physical persons, physical matters, physical things, their absence is caused by you being in sleep. And we take support of that cause of absence, even in dream. So dream is also nidra vritti. So this is being circumscribed. Because otherwise somebody can put a question, where is the nidra vritti counted by Patanjali? Vrittayaha panchatayaha klishtaha. Why swapna vritti is not included, and it doesn't seem to be included. So, in order that there should be no such flaw, Patanjali has embarked upon describing very nidra vritti as a vritti, class of vritti, which will include dreamless sleep as well as sleep. And the definition will be circumscribing both the dreamless sleep and the dream as well. So the dream is counted here. Then there are another vritti counted here, that is called daydreaming. We all are used to daydreaming. Now again, if you analyze what is daydreaming, you always analyze what is not around and what is not the condition that you have. So we always daydreaming of something in the state we are not. It is otherwise not daydreaming. Suppose I cannot be on the hill and then think of being on the hill. Now, thinking that you are on the hill while you are on the hill is a reality. But daydreaming is always such a thing that while you are on the hilltop, while you have climbed up the hill and sitting somewhere there on the top of the hill, then you have daydreaming of being at a seashore. You are not at seashore, physically, really, you are on hilltop. But the daydreaming will always be pertaining to something which is not actually present at that point in time there. A poor man will have a daydreaming of being rich. If the poor man is thinking to be poor, that is not daydreaming. That is a thought. That's a thought of a wakeful state, because that is a physical reality that he is poor. But the poor person will be daydreaming of being in a palace, being an emperor, being a very, very, very rich person. So try to understand what is really daydreaming. The daydreaming is that which is not a present condition there and then with you. You are in some other condition. You are not in that condition, and therefore you have daydreaming. As if I am very, very strong, as if I am Hercules, as if I am very, very handsome or very, very beautiful. So this is what the daydreaming is. A weak person will be having such daydreams, that I am very strong, I am Hercules, I am Mr. Universe. Or a poor person will have daydreaming of being very, very, very affluent, very, very, very rich, wealthy person. And while a rich person will sometimes be feeling that his wealthiness and richness and his status is creating a lot of problem. And he envies someone who is a pavement dweller. He envies a pavement dweller, how relaxed person, having no problem, no status problem. These rich people have this status problem, managing one's status. There is a lot of taboo. They cannot be doing so many things. Oh, if I were poor. So they think rich people will have daydreaming of not being what they are. They will always daydream of what they are not. If they are rich, they will daydream of being very, very, very rich. If they may be rich, but they will be having daydreaming of being a richest man in the world. What is not a reality with them, they will always dream about that. So what is not an actuality with them, they will always dream about that. What is actually with them, they will never dream about that. That's why we say it is daydreaming. So understand the figurative meaning of daydreaming, and it is always like that. What is not with one person, that is the subject matter of dream in an awakeful state. So in daydreaming, it's an awakeful state. But then what is taken support of? What is absent is taken support of. And therefore cause of absence. A rich man daydreaming of being a simple being, a person who is a dignitary, celebrity and dignitary, thinks of being a common man, ordinary man, which is not the actual reality. He is very, very affluent person, rich person, having a lot of dignity, having a lot of status, having being a celebrity. Now he envies a common man, ordinary man moving on the streets. So he will daydream of being an ordinary man, so that all that heavy garments of status, for a moment he will keep them off and then enjoy that simple life, light and simple life. Otherwise, the life of them is very, very heavy. Every time putting on the status overcoat. So the poor will have daydream of being rich. A failure, one who is all the time everywhere and complete failure, will have daydreaming of being successful. Unhealthy will have daydreaming of being very, very healthy. Those who have very weak health, vulnerable to every kind of problem, so they have daydream of being healthy, having no diseases at all, no problems at all, no nigglings at all. So this is how this is based on desire. This is based on a kind of desire that bubbles up. Then it is so strong that they are really not aware of what is around, and therefore we say they are daydreaming. So very strong desire, very strong expectation is the cause of daydreaming. If that is not so strong, then you will not see someone in daydreaming. It should be very, very strong desire, very, very strong expectation. And then the daydreaming happens. So again, the support of what is not actually there. And therefore, in a way, taking support the cause of what is absent with them. Success is absent, daydreaming of success. Wealthiness, richness is absent, taking support of being wealthy. And to be wealthy, that means you are taking support of the cause of that. Cause of wealthiness, cause of success. We take support of the cause of success in daydreaming. We take support of the cause of wealthiness in daydreaming. So the daydreaming is also circumscribed, and that is one of the quite a prominent vritti to particular mindset. Some people have this major occupation in awakeful state, that they are in daydreaming. So that is also circumscribed. Then there are some more vrittis which are circumscribed by this nidra vritti. It is murcha, beshuddhavastha, or besavadhpana. What is this? Murcha, fainting, somebody fainting. Somebody has struck a stick, kind of a blow with a stick on the head, and the person is unconscious, giddy, or person faints. Now, the cause of absence of consciousness is that there is a blow on the head, and therefore that's also included. The cause of awareness, awakefulness, the cause of being aware, cause of being conscious, the absence of it, the absence of being conscious, absence of being in an awakeful state, aware with awareness. The cause of absence is some such thing, concussion, somebody striking on the head, or some kind of epilepsy attack kind of thing, unconsciousness coming due to some such factors. So, even to become unconscious, or when somebody is anesthetized, what is anesthetized? You want the person not to be in a wakeful state or conscious state, and you make the person unconscious. And therefore, support of not being awakeful is making the person unconscious, and support of some drug is taken for the person to become unconscious. So even unconsciousness, or what is called as murcha, somebody fainting, etc. Or even if somebody is not really sufficiently alert, lacking in basic alerticity. So basic alerticity means the mind is somewhere, and therefore it is not where it should be present, and therefore one is not really alert. What is lack of alertness? That is not aware of being the state that one is in, the region, the place, the time that one is in, and therefore the advertence is lost. Advertence on the time, space, situation, scenario is lost, and that is called lack of alerticity. If you are alert of all that where am I? What is this time? What is the condition in which I am? What is the condition around me? That is alerticity. You are alert about all those things. So when you are not alert, that means the mind has taken support of that which causes absence of alerticity. Mind engrossed somewhere, mind in some worry and thought or whatever. So there the support of, again, absence of alerticity is taken. Unless you take absence of the support of absence of alerticity, you can't be you cannot be not alert. So to be not alert, you will have to take support of the cause which creates absence of alerticity. Mind engaged, mind engrossed, mind somewhere. So even that is nidra vritti, lacking alerticity, not having minimum alerticity. So understand all these are included in this nidra vritti. So therefore there is no point in merely taking this sutra sushupti paraka, that is only as describing sushupti, or what we call as sleep. However, sleep is such a state, and in sleep you can really understand, as I said, we take support of absence of awakefulness. That's why we want darkness in the room. We don't want sounds in the room. We do not want any noise. We want that quiet condition, dark condition. So these are the things which help us take support of cause of awakefulness. And then it actually, what happens is that, as I said, the mind enters the nerve called pericardium, and that is how the sleep is actualized. So in the Darshanic process, the definition is analyzed with the help of what is called as maxim of concomitance and exclusion. Now, this state of you and me cannot be called as state of sleep. So the definition part which says taking support of cause of absence is not there. So it is excluded. So this is how the definitions are tested in Darshanic process. That is called the law or maxim of concomitance and exclusion. So that will really tell us about how far, what is the radius of this nidra vritti. So this is nidra vritti, where what is included is dreamless sleep, the dream, the daydreaming, and unconscious state, or state of lack of alerticity. So all these things are really included. Now, as we were also considering the dream experience of, say, snake or elephant is not illusion. Because in illusion, we are imposing. We impose one thing on other thing. There is object of imposition and there is object imposed. While in dream, that is not the case. Because even when we come out of the dreamy experience, we don't say, oh, it was not elephant. You say, it was a dream. In disillusionment, what you will say, oh, that's not snake, that's a rope. This is how it is invalidated. That no, this is not snake, but this is rope. But how is the dream experience invalidated? Oh, it was a dream. In the dream, if we had, say, experienced elephant, you don't say that, oh, it was not elephant. Elephant was not imposed in dream experience, but it was experienced. Elephant was experienced in dream experience. And therefore, the dream should not be mistaken to viparyaya, because it doesn't fit in the definition of viparyaya. It doesn't get included in the definition of viparyaya. And therefore, on awakening, we say, oh, I was in dream. Oh, this was a dream. We do not invalidate the object and experience of dream by the knowledge of physical state or awakeful state experience. So the dreams, if they are invalidated differently than the invalidation of viparyaya, illusion. And therefore, the dream should not be considered as viparyaya kind of thing. It is not viparyaya. Because the process of viparyaya is like pratyaksha. And another pratyaksha invalidates it. But that is not the process of nidra vritti. All the nidra vritti experience is almost identical, ditto identical to awakeful state, but that is not how it is invalidated. Actually, it is not invalidated. It is considered as dream state. We know, oh, it was a dream. So, daydreaming is also when someone comes out of daydreaming by any reason, by any account, the person realizes that it was daydreaming. I was in a daydream. So, therefore, understand this nidra vritti, which is circumscribing so many vrittis, which are quite fascinating in definition. See the depth of yoga psychology. A marvel, that depth of yoga psychology, that it is including so many vrittis, even unconscious state. Otherwise, in unconscious state, you are neither having pratyaksha, nor having illusion, nor having vikalpa. Then what it is? Nor even a memory, nor even smruti. Then where is it counted? It is counted here. Okay. Now one more interesting about sleep, let me tell you. The dreamless sleep. In dreamless sleep, even if you think that there was no dream experience at all and there was no mental modulation, etc., and therefore many of them have this doubt, question, is dreamless sleep not yoga? Because there is no chitta vritti. Or they want someone to show that there is a chitta vritti in state of dream, a state of dreamless sleep. See, in dreamless sleep, which we all have every day, Understand how it is when we come out of our sleep and the sleep is over. It is not like something like computer crash. If your computer has crashed, what does it mean? So the data is all gone, and therefore you say my computer crashed. But sleep is not such a state. Your memory, etc., is not totally effaced. You commence that day. You can commence that day from where you ended on previous day. You don't forget your identity. You don't forget your status. You don't forget your the needs, desires of previous day. It's not that previous day desires are all obliterated. Now new body of desires is going to come up. So you, after awakening, you say, I left that work half. Let me complete that work. So it's not like computer crashing. That means it is the pre-dormancy experiences are still maintained, and then you can have that data available. So dreamless sleep or having a good sleep or even a very inert and thick sleep, there is no brain crash like computer crash. So those vrittis are very much there. So even a dreamless sleep there is some experience of sleep in sleep. It's not that all our experiences are totally blanked out. That is why on awakening we say, I slept well. That means that which had to sleep in you got the sleep. The body must have rest, mind must have rest, senses must have rest. They must sleep. So when they get that rest, then we say, I had a very good sleep. So you get that experience that I slept well. You don't come out of sleep and say, oh, where am I? Like it happens in unconscious state. A person who is coming out of the unconscious state to conscious state, he loses some memories, short-term loss is there, and he says, oh, where am I? Why am I here? How did I come here? That doesn't happen in dreamless sleep. So, what is really sleeping in sleep, tell me? There are so many things which are working even in dreamless sleep. Your heart is working, your brain is working, autonomous system is working. The lungs and heart and organs, liver, stomach, colon, bladder, the systemic body, all organs are working. And yet you say, I rested well. That means you are pointing out at a just fragment of your embodiment, and you say, I slept well. Your liver, kidney, bladder were in process. They were processing colon, liver, kidneys, etc. They were in processing. You were breathing. The lungs were working. Heart was working. So where we wanted kind of rest, and if that rested, we say, I had a very good rest. Actually, you don't really rest. No, they don't all become dead for your state of sleep. So there are functions going on. Something is monitoring your heart and lungs within you and seeing that it is operating. It is conducting the autonomous system. So therefore, there is some vritti. And even when we come out of the sleep, that shows that we have experienced rest in that sleep. We experienced a dreamless condition in the sleep. So there is someone who is experiencing it. And therefore, even dreamless sleep is a vritti. So anyway, we have embarked upon very fascinating vritti, chitta vritti here. So let's be considering it. but the remainder for next time. Namaskar, all of you.